Have you ever wondered, how did I get here? I'm doing everything right, so why is my body not responding the way it used to when you gazed at yourself in the mirror? You attempt to eat healthfully. You make an effort to be active. You're still lustful. However, erections that formerly felt solid and dependable tend to wane at the ages of 60, 65, and 70. This happens quietly, and the person isn't even aware of when it began. You're not the only one if that sounds similar. You're not weak either. You're not a less man. In this video, I want to show you something that most men are unaware of. Around the age of 60, your body makes a silent mistake that is mostly related to blood flow and how your body processes protein. It has nothing to do with your manhood. This is the twist that many of my patients find surprising. Men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s are experiencing better, more natural erections, not by taking additional medications, but by simply changing the type of protein they consume, particularly from a certain green vegetable that most people pass by in the grocery store without giving it any thought. The biggest modification I'll reveal toward the end might seem nearly too easy, so stick with me. But you'll see why it might be so potent after 60 if you comprehend the biology. Dr. Mohit Kara is my name. I've worked on circulation, hormone balance, and sexual health with guys in your age range for more than 30 years. And in this video, I'll take you step by step through the actual cause of erection waning, as well as easy everyday activities that could eventually help your body regain its strength and self-assurance. Now is a fantastic time to subscribe if you haven't already. Every week, I offer doable, scientifically supported tips for guys over 50 who wish to have greater energy, better blood flow, and a more self-assured existence. I would also love to hear from you while you are here. If you already agree with what I'm saying, put 1 in the comments section. Type 0 if you think I should clarify anything so I can make each video more helpful to you. Let's now have a candid yet gentle conversation about what's actually going on within your body. The day the erection fails is not the beginning of the issue. Years ago, it began subtly, gradually, and without anyone noticing. Your body reacts rapidly after a year. It's easy to be firm. You don't even consider it. The blood vessels inside the penis then start to stiffen gradually, almost imperceptibly. The endothelium, the tiny lining that lines those vessels, thins and loses its suppleness. Every 10 years, nitric oxide, the chemical that signals those vessels to open, decreases. You appear the same from the outside. You still feel like yourself. The engine of blood flow inside is dying. Most men hear statements like, "Your testosterone is low," or "It's just age." However, this stealthy breakdown of blood flow is the true secret enemy for many men. Desire is not the only factor in erections. They have to do with pressure. They deal with the ease with which blood can enter, fill, and remain within the penis's chambers. Circulation frequently slows down in those little vessels initially at the age of 60. Erection issues are even referred to by some cardiac doctors as an early check engine light for the blood vessels as a whole. This explains why you may still have desire while still having trouble achieving or maintaining an erection. Not that you've lost your masculinity. Your blood just isn't able to flow as it once did, and it might be painful to realize that. Men confide in me about their feelings of humiliation and silent shame, how they begin to shy away from intimacy, and how they worry about disappointing their spouse. They feel as though something necessary has vanished and might never return. I want you to hear this very clearly if you have felt that way. This disintegration is not necessarily irreversible. Living tissue makes up blood vessels. It is possible to support them. They frequently get better. You don't necessarily lose what you've lost. It's asleep in a lot of men. That system might be reactivated with the correct cues, the proper foods, and the right routine. We must now discuss one of the most significant quiet mistakes males make after the age of 60, which begins with the dinner plate, in order to comprehend how to accomplish it. Most men are unaware that as they age, their intestines and stomach no longer function as they did when they were 30 or 40. Acidity in the stomach frequently decreases enzymes involved in digestion alter. The lining of the stomach becomes more vulnerable. The twist is this. After the ages of 60 or 70, the very things that gave you strength in your youth, large steaks, hearty servings of poultry, and an abundance of eggs, can subtly become too difficult to digest. This is good protein, you think as you consume them, I'm acting appropriately, but something else is going on within. Animal protein that is dense may feel weighty in the stomach. It takes longer to digest, it might ferment. The lining of the intestines may become irritated, and over time, the body may experience low-grade inflammation as a result of that irritation. During an inflammatory response, blood vessels are less able to relax. Blood flows less easily when blood vessels are not relaxed. Erections become weaker when blood flow is interrupted. Even if you are unaware that your dinner choices are contributing to the issue, all of this can occur in silence. Many men have told me, "Doctor, I feel heavy and sluggish after eating," when they visit my clinic. It feels like I'm blocked. I have less energy. My erections aren't as strong. They attribute it to aging. They attribute it to stress. Their minds are to blame. They seldom ever realize that the blood vessels they require for a firm erection are being subtly stressed by their diet and protein choices. I'm not saying this to frighten you. I say that to provide you with a new form of authority, because you may start to alter this pattern as soon as you see it. Let's go through a quick countdown to make it very clear. 7 major blunders and solutions that impact erections after the age of 60, culminating with the most surprising adjustment of all, a particular plant protein routine you may begin this week. Stay with me till the top because it's easy, reasonably priced, and incredibly motivating for a lot of my patients. Number 7. Ignoring circulation and blaming testosterone issue. Many men neglect blood flow and concentrate only on hormone levels, thinking, my testosterone dropped, that's it. Science explained simply, hormones do matter. However, erections are mostly a circulation event. No amount of desire can produce tremendous pressure if the penis's small arteries are tight, restricted, or irritated. Impact on oneself beyond 60. Even though the body doesn't react, you could still feel interested and attracted. Confusion results from this. Even though your passion is still alive, you nevertheless feel broken. Easy action. Ask yourself a new inquiry instead of, I'm done. How can I help my blood vessels? Changes that truly help, like the protein shift we'll discuss shortly, are made possible by that mentality adjustment. Even worse, a lot of guys unintentionally contribute to this circulation issue by eating certain foods. Number 6. Eating as if you were 30 years old, but your stomach is 70. Issue. Large steaks, generous amounts of cheese, and heaps of eggs are examples of heavy dinners high in animal protein that are typically consumed at night when the body is attempting to slumber and digestion has slowed. Science explained simply, stomach acid frequently diminishes beyond age 60. Because of this, it is significantly more difficult to break down dense protein. Food keeps for longer, gas, bloating, and a brick in the stomach are possible side effects. This may cause the gut to become irritated and send out signs of inflammation throughout the body, impact on oneself beyond 60. After eating, you feel lethargic. You might wake up in the middle of the night, get heartburn, or feel overly full before bed. In addition, the same inflammation that irritates your stomach may also inhibit the opening of blood vessels in the penis. Easy action. At night, start cutting back on the size of hefty meat portions. Reduce the amount of protein consumed in the evenings and shift some of it earlier in the day. You may honor the limitations of an aging digestive system without completely eliminating animal protein. Even worse, the majority of men do not associate this intestinal distress with erections. They simply believe that they are becoming older. Number 5. The silent error of ignoring intestinal inflammation. Issue. Your new normal is mild gastrointestinal discomfort. You accept it as a natural part of aging, even though you feel a little weird, bloated, and heavy. Science explained simply, the immune system becomes more active when the gut is constantly irritated. We refer to this modest, continuous activation as inflammation, which over time might reduce the blood vessel lining's suppleness and nitric oxide responsiveness, impact on oneself beyond 60. They don't open completely, even when you're comfortable and excited. Erections are either less frequent, less firm, or go away in the middle. This can be damaging on an emotional level. Easy action. Listen to the cues from your body. Your body may be telling you that something needs to change if you consistently feel uneasy after eating certain heavy meals. A potent next step is to experiment with softer proteins and reduce portion sizes. What many males do after this is far worse than all of this. Number 4, just taking medicines and crossing your fingers. Issue: many men start taking tablets right away since their erections are weaker. They never inquire, what's going on underneath? Science explained simply, some men may benefit from prescription erection medications by temporarily relaxing blood arteries. However, the pill's effectiveness will be restricted if the veins themselves are damaged, stiff, or inflammatory. Over time, you may find that it is working less and less. Impact on oneself beyond 60. You could feel dependent on a drug, fearful that it won't function when you need it, and scared to try without it. Confidence declines. The spontaneity vanishes. It gets stressful to be intimate. Easy action. If you take medicine, consider it a tool rather than a cure-all. Start promoting your digestion and circulation at the same time to give those same vessels an opportunity to function more effectively on their own. The twist is this: you don't have to decide between only pills and no help. Altering the protein you consume to nourish your blood vessels rather than subtly straining them is a compromise. We now proceed to the countdown solution section. The next tip is to lighten the platter while still honoring digestion. Issue: the body is working hard to maintain muscles, mend arteries, and stabilize hormones, yet you're asking an aging stomach to carry the same burden it did when it was 35. Science explains simply, the body has more energy for repair when digestion is less stressed. Hours upon hours of blood rushing to the intestines are not necessary. It is possible to better spread circulation. Deeper sleep is possible. Blood flow at night, which is crucial for the health of erections, might get better. Impact on oneself beyond 60. Gentle supper lightening and avoiding overeating before bed can help men sleep better, use the restroom less frequently at night, and feel less heavy the following day. Better erections in the morning and at night may result from that over time. Easy action. Choose a dinner plate that will allow you to still move about easily after eating a little less high fat, moderate protein, and more vegetables. This prepares the ground for the subsequent phase, which involves altering the protein type. Before we move on to number 2, let me make a crucial clarification. To improve your erections, you don't have to give up all meat. However, adding the proper plant proteins can offer your blood vessels exactly what they've been lacking, especially after the age of 60. Number 2. Using plant protein to support rather than inhibit nitric oxide issue. Many males get very little protein from plants and rely nearly exclusively on animal sources. Certain amino acids that aid in the production of nitric oxide, the chemical that signals vessels to open, are starving their arteries. Science explained simply, citrulline and arginine are abundant in certain plant proteins. Your body uses them as building blocks to create nitric oxide. Many plant proteins are also easier for an aging stomach to digest than hefty animal proteins. Reduced weight, reduced inflammation, and increased availability of the proper building blocks for blood flow. Impact on oneself beyond 60. Many men report feeling lighter after meals and experiencing greater warmth in their bodies as they progressively increase their intake of beans, lentils, chickpeas, and other plant proteins. This can eventually promote improved circulation to the penis as well as to the heart and brain. Easy action. A few times a week, try substituting a plant-based protein for a portion of one animal-based meal. For instance, having some grilled chicken for lunch and a dish made with lentils or beans for dinner rather than another meat-heavy meal. Stay with me now, because this all becomes extremely practical at number 1. For elderly guys, one particular plant protein is very practical. It's easy to eat multiple times a week, full of the appropriate amino acids and easy on the stomach. Without even recognizing what it could do for your blood flow, you've most likely passed it in the frozen food aisle. Number 1. Edamame, a straightforward green vegetable. The unveiling is here. Edamame, the young green soybean that is frequently served in tiny pods in Japanese restaurants or sold frozen in bags, is one of the most useful plant proteins that I suggest to many older men. It tackles the following issue. Your body needs protein that is easy to digest, high in amino acids that maintain blood vessels, and mild enough to avoid causing intestinal inflammation after the ages of 60 or 70. All three requirements are not satisfied by many conventional protein sources. Science explains simply, high-quality plant protein with arginine and other amino acids associated with the synthesis of nitric oxide can be found in edamame. Additionally, it contains natural substances known as isoflavones, which may support healthier endothelium function and more flexible blood arteries in certain males. Additionally, edamame is easier for many elderly stomachs to digest because it is softer and less dense than steak. Impact on oneself beyond 60. Men who routinely use edamame along with other healthy behaviors report little but positive improvements, such as fewer heavy, bloated nights, better circulation, and stronger, more natural responses during arousal over time. Some even report that morning erections that they believed had permanently disappeared have returned. Although each person is unique and outcomes are never assured, the trend is encouraging easy action. How to get started. You don't require anything difficult. Purchase unsalted frozen edamame from the supermarket. Bring a cup of it to a boil or steam for around 5 minutes. If desired, pour some olive oil or sprinkle some sea salt. 3 to 4 times a week, eat it as a snack or as a side dish with a dinner. Consult your doctor before introducing it on a regular basis if you have renal issues, a history of hormone-sensitive disorders, a soy allergy, or are taking any vital medications. Working with your healthcare physician to make improvements is always a good idea. Let's now tie everything together and take this home. After 60, why does this seemingly insignificant shift feel so powerful, considering that you are no longer battling your own biology? You are no longer putting increasing strain on stiff blood vessels and an inflammatory stomach. You're relieving the digestive load instead. Your arteries are receiving the precise nourishment they require to produce nitric oxide. You're allowing the penis's tiny blood channels to relax, reopen, and remember how to pump blood once more. A progressive transition is frequently reported by men who maintain this type of change, which includes lighter dinners and more plant protein, particularly edamame. Not a miracle in a day, but gradual positive progress. More restful sleep. Energy that is more steady. A more profound feeling of physical tranquility. And, most crucially for this subject, more robust and consistent erections that feel organic rather than artificial. It's similar to rehydrating a parched plant. The initial modifications are minor. It then grows taller, greener, and more vibrant every day. You may experience the same thing. What I truly want you to hear is this. There is yet time your body still knows how to react. It just hasn't had the proper support. What ought one to do next? Allow me to present a straightforward 5-step approach that you may begin this week. Step 1. Change the narrative in your mind. Quit telling yourself that you're done. Begin by reminding yourself, I can support my digestion and blood vessels, but they need care. Your approach to your health is altered just by that mentality. Step 2. Make your evening meal lighter. Cut back on huge, oily, or heavy meat servings at night for the next 2 weeks. You don't need to be flawless. Simply allow your stomach some breathing space so that the body may focus more of its efforts on healing and blood flow at night. Add plant protein, particularly edamame, in step 3. At least 3 times a week, introduce a plant-based supper or snack. Make it an easy habit to eat 1 cup of boiled or steamed edamame every other day, if it works for your health. Consider it more than simply food. Think of it as blood vessel fuel. Step 4. Encourage circulation by moving gently. Even a quick 10 to 20 minute stroll each day keeps the blood flowing. Intense exercise is not necessary to reap the benefits. Particularly after age 60, consistency is more important than intensity. Step 5. Consult your physician. Talk to your healthcare professional about any changes if you are taking medication, have heart, renal, or hormonal issues, or are concerned about erections. Express your desire to use your diet to promote circulation and digestion. The majority of physicians will be pleased to see you actively participating. Recall that the purpose of everything we have discussed today is education. It is not a replacement for tailored medical guidance or care. Your pharmaceutical regimen, medical history, and body are all distinct. This video should be used to spark a discussion with your doctor, not to take the place of it. I'd like to hear from you now. Please enter 1 in the comments if this message struck a chord with you so I know it was received. Type 0 and let me know what you would like me to go into more detail on in a future video if you're still unclear or something wasn't clear. What I teach next is shaped by your questions. If this was useful to you, please subscribe. In a future video, I'll show you how to perform a basic nightly circulation routine that men over 60 may use to maintain blood flow even as they sleep. It's the ideal complement to the protein modification we discussed today. You have dedicated your entire life to hard effort. You should have a body that promotes joy, intimacy, and self-assurance for as long as feasible. There's more to your erections than just sex. They are about being entirely yourself, connected, and living. One easy decision at a time. Provide the proper support for your body and let it to demonstrate to you what it is capable of, even at 60.